Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, Maggie. How are you today?
How are you? I'm
Yeah, I'm
good.
not too bad. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Good place. Yeah.
So we're
Ah,
here to chat about our fostering. What prompted you to start fostering, Ron?
I think from ages I've always wanted to work with kids, in that various capacity. Initially, I wanted to be a school teacher, but then yeah, I mean, doing youth work, I've done youth work for a number of years, and I know the problems in youth work in terms of funding. So after that stopped, I was thinking, oh gosh, what can I do really to put something back or to carry on working with the kids that I've worked with and everything like that. So yeah, I mean, I was having a conversation with my wife, and she said, "Oh, how about fostering?" So I was like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, I mean, I did a little bit of research about it, went on the net and everything like that, and then I contacted Islington Council and see if they had any information about it. And they had information sessions, and yeah, we went along to one just to yeah, I mean to talk to regular foster carers and their experiences and what they have to do in it. And yeah, 6 years along the line, I'm still doing it.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
And I thought the information session was really helpful. And it really is quite an early decider to get you really thinking. And when you're there, you can ask a lot of questions. But then from then, as you know, we're asked if we'd like to go to the skills to foster, and that's when we do a lot of on hand things with the professionals, the social workers, and other people that would like to foster. And it's 4 days of giving us lots and lots of information and lots of tasks, and it's lots of fun. And after that 4 days, you really do know whether you 100% would like to foster or not.
That's true because
How did you feel about that, Ron?
yeah, you know, I mean the training was good, and on the plus side of that, also as part of the training, you had also young people who have been in care as part of that training. So they put forward their experiences of being in care, whether you know, I mean, some being good experiences or bad experiences. So in a way, that was interesting. So and as Maggie said, you know, I mean, you get to find out exactly how many people are involved in these young people's lives when they come into care, because there's so many different professionals. You know, they've got the schools, you've got doctors, you've got everyone that's involved in their lives, and you all have to work as a team basically to support the young person that you're caring for.
That's
You know.
right. And also, we have lots of training, don't we? You know,
I mean, there's
we
ongoing training being a foster carer because there I mean, you would appreciate that a lot of the kids who come into care, they've have a lot of trauma and stuff like that, and various different things that they've been through, and that the training, I mean, that helps us to be able to try and manage those kids better. I mean, there are various types of training. You've got first aid training. You've got rec-
safeguarding.
yeah, record keeping things. You even have things as well. It's quite important as like internet safety, because as you know, in this age now, the internet is the key. So in you've got training around how to navigate your way around the internet, which so
Yes,
there's always different training. So you pick which training suits you for the child that you have, really. So but yeah, and in that training, you get to meet other foster carers who you can share experience with and stuff like that. So
That's
you don't
right.
really feel on your own, Maggie, don't you?
I think the trauma training is marvellous because it really gives you a different way of thinking of what these children may have experienced and how their emotions are so out there, and it just helps you foster in a gentle way to have a good understanding of what they may have been through and how to deal with them in the nicest way possible to help them through their journey and support them.
Mm. And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I know when I first started, I think one of the things it was the assessment of myself and my wife by the service because and the assessment of you starts basically they want to know what experiences you've had in life really from zero to the age you're at and you know me and it is intense and I think quite rightly so because they're trusting you with um, a child, so they need to know what you've done. And I think the one of the good things about it, whether you've had good experiences, bad experience in your lives, it doesn't really it doesn't really matter because I think all experiences are good because if you've learned, you know, I mean, obviously you would have learned from those some of the bad experiences, and you could that would also enable you to help the young people that you're dealing with because they've come from troubled backgrounds and stuff like that. So some of the things, experiences that they possibly would have seen, I mean, if you've been through it or anyone that you know have been through it and you were there to help them, then that's all good. You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
makes you a better
I agree
carer.
there, Ron, that
Yeah.
some of the things we've gone through ourselves in life, um, and now we can look at them and think, well, because I went through that, that wasn't such a good part of my life. But hey, that's really helped me with my fostering because certain things these children bring, you've got a good understanding of because you can walk in their shoes and say, well, I was in a similar situation and this and that happened, and that's how I'm going to help this young person. So without our life story, we just couldn't do this. And I think that I particularly have had a lot of things happen, but I've turned them into positive, and I've certainly used them for my fostering.
Mm. Can you remember your first placement, Maggie?
Oh yes, I felt really nervous when I got that phone call to say could I take these children. It was actually a family of three, and I really felt scared because although I'd had a family of my own, fostering is something, as you know, entirely different. And when they arrived, I felt really nervous, and I was saying, let me show you your room, and what would you like to eat? And you feel that, am I doing enough? Are they okay? And my family were actually really emotional because the police had been involved and actually brought them into care. So all night they were saying, oh, are the police going to come? Are the police going to get us? And this is
Mm.
it, it's the trauma they've been through. But then as a foster carer, you're hands on, and you just know how to deal with it. You know that you can get them through this, and you've got to be very patient and kind and show them that you care and assure them that no one's going to hurt them and that you'll be kind to them and they'll be safe. And yeah, but I did feel really, really scared. Where now, if I got a phone call, oh, yes, just bring the child along because, with all our training that Islington support us with and all the experience we've got now through that training and support, we're confident, aren't we, to do the foster and to know that we're looking after these children in a very positive way.
Oh yeah, because I mean, you mentioned being scared. Yeah, I think I was just the same. I think that my first placement, the two siblings, and I remember was looking through the window and I saw these policemen, you know what I mean, with these two kids and two social workers, and I was thinking, I said, oh, they can't be coming here. I think, gosh, what the neighbors are going to think. We see two policemen with these two kids, and I was really nervous. Although I've worked with young people for years, I was so nervous. I mean, you know, what I mean, they came in and they were crying, and you know, what I mean, I was like, what am I going to do? And I think one of the good things, my family were here and my grandchildren were here, and they, yeah, I mean, they were quite young, and you know, I mean, they sort of like solved the problem for me. They just said, "Oh, come, you want to play with my toys?" So I was like, "Oh gosh, oh," I said, "Thanks for that." I mean, so that was the
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, that was sort of like my first baptism of fire actually in fostering. But then after that, it was like I think because it was the first one, you thought, "Oh, I want to get it
yeah,
right,"
yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah.
And the children and family are a big help, aren't they?
Oh
They're a big
gosh.
support
Yeah.
to us as foster carers. But even if you haven't got a large family or you've got no children at all, you can still do a great job of fostering, and we still need you.
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing. I said, you know what I mean. If you, I'd say some people might not have any family or anything, but
No,
you might, yeah, you might have very good friends.
and also
You know.
young people may want to foster.
Yeah. So you know what I mean. This is it's all age ranges really,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean. I don't, you know what I mean. I don't expect you guys, you know what I mean, for us to sit down here and saying to you, fostering is easy because it isn't. You know, it is not an easy job because as you appreciate, the reason that these kids are in care because they've been through something quite traumatic and stuff like that. So when these kids come to you, they don't know you, they're in a new place, you don't know them, they don't want to be here, you know what I mean? They want to be back with their parents and everything like that. So initially they might not be very nice to you, and they, yeah, I mean, you think of some of the bad names that you hear, they'll call you them. But I think the thing is try not to take it personally because it's not particularly directed at you. It's the situation that they found themselves, and they're scared. You know what I mean? They're scared of
yeah.
you. They're scared
Well,
of the new places, isn't it, Maggie? So
yeah.
it's
I always walk in their shoes, and I try and be that child and think, well, how would I feel if I was in this placement and I went to my room and I was laying in bed, and I would think, are these people going to be kind to me? What's going to happen to me now? And
mm,
that's why I always say, would you like a night light left on? Because they are scared, and that's
yeah.
where we reassure them. And they do settle. They settle remarkably well and very quickly.
Yeah, yeah, some of them because you know, I mean, all children are individual, but that's the thing because if you know, what I mean, as Maggie said, put yourself in their shoes, you've been taken away from people you know and love. You know, what I mean, everything is gone. You might think, I might never see my friends again. What am I going to still go to school? Do I have to change school? I'll have to get to know new friends.
Yeah,
Who are these people looking after me? I don't know them. I don't like them. Are they gonna cook the same food that I like?
yeah.
You know, so it's all of that thing going through their brain, really.
And
Don't I
that's
think?
why
Yeah.
we have to ask them, don't we? What would you like to eat? What sort
Mm,
of food is your favourite? Is there any film you'd like to come and see? What park do you like to play football in? To really take an interest in what they like, so they can have a bit of home. They may have had to leave their dog behind, any pet behind. They may have had to leave siblings behind, and it is so traumatic. So it is our job to just nurture them and be patient and kind. And with that kindness, you'll get the rewards, because that child will be very happy.
Yeah, and you know what I mean, and I think you have to look at it in terms of the same way how you would treat your children or your relatives or
Hmm.
anything like that. You try and treat that child the same. You bring
Yeah,
them into your family. There are any family events and stuff like that, you take them, and you know what I mean. You try to make that child as welcoming as possible. As I say, initially they might not appreciate it, but you know what I mean. After you know what I mean, once they see that you're treating them, you know what I mean, in a nice way, and they get to know you and everything like that, the relationship changes. But then that's the positive side of it. But obviously, you'll have to put in the initial hard work in the first place. And you know what I mean, and you'll do the same thing with them if they're of school age. You have to do the school run. You have to make sure that they're registered with a GP,
and you
optician.
may like to
Yeah.
ask them, Ron. I don't know.
Yeah.
You probably do the same as me. If your friends asked you who I am, what would you like me to say if a child says, "Who are you?" Because I would leave that for you to answer. But if I was in a corner, what would you like to address me as? Would you
Mm,
like to call me auntie, grandma, or just by my name? Just think of being in that situation. How would you like to see it? And that's
yeah.
what we can do.
And I think that's quite important because yeah, I mean, as some people say, the stigma of being in care, and you know, what I mean, initially there would be someone taking that young person to school on a regular basis or from whatever case, and then all of a sudden there's a strange person. And I mean, some of the young people, they're quite okay to say, "Oh yeah, this is my carer," and others, I mean, I always, as Maggie, I always say to them, "What would you like me to, or what would you want to call me?" And I just said, "Look, just call me Ron." I said, and just anyone just asks you, I said, you can say, "Oh, I'm just I mean, I'm just a neighbor taking you to school."
Hmm.
I said, just keep it simple because I think you start going into, oh, this is it. Yeah, I mean, so I leave it to the kids to say, and sometimes it's so funny. They say, oh, don't walk too close to me, or just take me by the corner of the school, and I'll go. I don't want to be seen. So I mean, it's not that they hate you or whatever. It's just they don't want people to start asking questions. So it's a strange job that we do sometimes. We
Of
do
course.
sometimes.
And also, Ron, I'd like to talk about IFCA.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah, it's
yeah,
Independent Foster Carers Association. It's where all us foster carers get together in normal times, pre-COVID, on a Wednesday, and at our office we've got a coffee room that we all go into, and we meet up, and we're all friends, and we all support one another. Um, and we do outings to the seaside, um, to maybe to Liverpool at the moment, but it's been cancelled. A Euro Disney,
mm,
pantomimes. There's lots of things that you and your children, your placement, can get involved with. And if you go to the IFCA coffee mornings, that's your way of your experiencing yourself. We can be introduced to you, and we can help you on your journey, and we're more than pleased to do that. You can take our phone number, and we can always help you if anything pops up that you're unsure of.
mm. And I think it's a great space for foster carers because it's run by foster carers. So
Yes.
you know what I mean. There's no social workers or there's no management. Sometimes we would invite managers to speak to us and stuff like that, but that's only an invitation only. So it's run by foster carers for foster carers, and it's a good space where you can share different ideas, because sometimes you might be going through some issues with the child that you think, oh, I've tried this, I've tried that, and it's not working. And by speaking with other foster carers, they said, oh, I came across that. Have you tried this? So it's a great way of sharing information with one another, and yeah, I mean to make the job a lot easier, and to sort of help that young person along, because sometimes you just think, oh, I think I'm doing this wrong because it's not working. The child is not responding to this particular way, and then you speak to someone else and you think, okay, I'll try that. So it's a good thing. And as Maggie said, I mean, we arrange outings for the kids and everything, from weekends away, center parks, oh, all the theme parks. You even go abroad, Euro Disney and places like that. So there's lots of activities for the children to do, and they'll be able to get away, because some of them, they might not even have had a holiday in their lives. So that's a good place where really you can start,
Well,
and it's just fun.
when I took my two young people to Southend, they'd never ever seen a beach before.
Mm,
So they spent most of the evening throwing pebbles in the water, skimming the pebbles, and they enjoyed that more than the fair, the amusement arcade, or anything, because they were just amazed with the beach.
mm,
The small things made them happy.
yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, sometimes people take it for granted that, I mean, every kid has been on holiday and they've had good experiences. But for whatever coming to that couldn't happen. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, we're not here to judge or anything like that. We just take the kids how we see them. And as I said, simple little things that you might, I mean, people might think, oh, yeah, have you been swimming? And I'll be, no, I've never been swimming. And little things like that, and you take them, and they'll be like, yeah, I mean, it's like for us if we'd win the lottery, and seeing the smiles on their faces, you just think, wow, and that gives you a good feeling,
And
I mean,
that's your
with
reward,
that.
isn't it, Ron?
Yeah, and that's definitely that's your reward there. So
Yes, that's
yeah.
right.
So as I said, there's what I mean, there's good and bad in fostering. Yeah, I mean, it's just like any job. It has its challenges, and you know what I mean. So I'm not going to say that it's always easy. Sometimes it's lovely, other times it's quite difficult, because
And the
mm,
training that you get will actually help you with those challenges.
mm,
And also, we all get allocated as our own supervising social worker that will help us along our journey. She will visit you at home, and if you've got a problem, you can ring her. And if she isn't available, we've got a 24-hour duty
that's
number.
right.
So there is always someone at the end of the phone 365 days and nights of the year. So you are actually not on your own. And as we said previously, if you come to the IFCA coffee mornings, your matrosol will become your friends. And then if you have a problem, or you've got to go to the dentist and you need your child picked up from school, we all help one another in that way and step in. So if you
Mm.
come along and get to know us, or we'll get to know you and we can help you, and it will be
And
nice to meet you.
yeah, and that's I think that's the beauty of it, because I mean, Maggie and myself, we didn't know each other or anything like that,
No,
and you know what
and
I mean,
didn't we foster at the same time, Ron?
yeah, similarly around the same
Yeah.
time. I think you start a little bit earlier before me, and you know what I mean. And it's like everything. It's not everyone that you're going to get on with. It's just natural. So yeah, I mean, me and Maggie, we got on. We got on fine, and I mean, lucky enough to do the deliver some of the training to the foster carers as well. So you meet people and you become friends, and as Maggie you said, you're able to help one another because if you have appointments or whatever, you can phone someone and say, "Look, I've, is there any chance of you doing me a favor, maybe taking the child to an appointment or anything like that?" So in that way, it's a good thing. So and I think fostering, you can't do it on your own. At some point, you're going to need someone to maybe do some small favor for you because also you have your own lives to lead. You know, you have your own lives, you have your own family to look after as well. So you have to fit all of that into the fostering as well. So it's those are just some of the things to think about, and especially if you're thinking about becoming, foster care, it's always good to speak with your family, speak with your network of friends, to just to say, "Look, I'm thinking of doing this," you know what I mean, just to get the additional support. As I said, lots of training and everything like that. So we hope you find some of this information useful, and I think if you do, there's you can always get in contact with the office and they'll fill you
Yeah,
in.
and the number's actually at the bottom of the screen, isn't it, Ron, going along
Yeah,
for
it's the
you?
number should be going along. So
And we'd
but
like to meet you and see you at our coffee morning.
yeah, so and Matt, if there are any questions that you guys can think of, I know sometimes you might say, "Oh gosh, no, I can't think of any now," and you would like to ask us, we're more than willing to try and see if we can answer them.
We
Ain't we,
are.
Maggie? Yeah.
We
So
are.
yeah.
Well, I hope if you
Uh,
decide to foster, um, sorry, I've worded that wrong. If you do decide to take the challenge up of coming forward to be a foster carer, you will enjoy it. And
yes.
I've been doing it a good few years now, like Ron. And once you actually go into it, you're quite hooked. And it's a part of your life, a big part of your life. And I really enjoy it and love what I do. And I'm sure you will too.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, take care. And as you said, if there's any questions you need, you can contact the fostering service. Okay. Thank you.
Hey, bye everybody. Bye,
Have a good
Ron.
day. Cheers. Bye, Maggie.